I must be worthless. I must be like this person that just can't do anything. Not feeling good enough, not funny enough, good looking enough, active enough in sports. My household was very dysfunctional, constantly walking on eggshells. 3 of my friends committed suicide. What if I could have been there for them? The gaslighting and the manipulation, hearing things and seeing things. He would proceed to call me crazy. I was mentally, physically drained. Failure at the relationship, don't deserve love. I was increasingly paranoid. I did not feel safe. Hiding underneath my mattress. I was afraid for my life. They're going to put me away and I'm never going to see light again. He always kept a gun. I proceeded to grab it and put it to my temple and pull the trigger. Hope means despite all odds, and despite who may be in your corner, who may not be in your corner, the recovery is possible, but not only that, it's possible to thrive and to rediscover ourselves and give life a new meaning. That our trauma, that the things we've been through, whether it's substance use, whether it's mental health, whether it's abuse, it is possible to heal from that. And it is possible to grow from that and look at those experiences with a sense of honor that I'm still here despite that. You know, growing up, the dynamics of my household was very dysfunctional. My mother expected perfection. My father was a narcissist. He's very explosive, very animated in his anger bouts. So it was a very challenging atmosphere growing up. And, you know, from a very early age, I remember not feeling good enough, but having that weight of expectations that I'll never actually be able to achieve. And that kind of was the seed that I feel like was planted to grow as I've gotten older. In my 20s, I got involved with my primary abuser with relationships. We moved in after a few months and the gaslighting and the manipulation started creeping in. She got physical a few times, but nothing that I couldn't justify. You know, I didn't work enough hours. I didn't get enough money this paycheck. You know, of course she would be angry. My mood was very high and low all the time, very not stable. And I was also hearing things and seeing things that I thought everybody saw, but it was very scary. You know, she would proceed to call me crazy and, you know, proceed to, you know, kind of gaslight me and to believe in it was all in my head, but never really encouraged me to get help for it. So probably about the 6th year mark in this relationship, she had begged me to kill myself because I was unable in her mind to care for her. I wasn't deserving of her love. For whatever reason, I don't know if it was the fact that we had been drinking that night. I don't know if it was because of where my mindset was mentally, but she always kept a gun by the side table by our bed, and it was always loaded. I proceeded to grab it and put it to my temple and pull the trigger. And it just so happened that night it was not loaded. I believe that it was used as a manipulation and gaslighting tactic because she proceeded to tell me I couldn't even do that right. I moved out to my own apartment, and that's really when my mental health started just nosediving. And I was increasingly paranoid. And there's many times I can recall I would drive 100+ miles an hour to get to my apartment because I thought the CIA was watching me. So after about 6 months, I decided, for whatever reason, to reach out to a therapist. My first meeting, I decided to be completely honest, completely open. He gave me the dilemma of, you probably need to be hospitalized. You can either go voluntary or we may have to pursue other options. I was hospitalized about 6 to 7 times in South Carolina before I had moved up to Virginia. I ultimately ended up in Radford. I was hospitalized a few more times in Virginia. And when I got hired or started with NRVCS and got hired at the crisis center, I moved up here and haven't looked back since. I started at the 401 Peer Center part-time. I knew I wanted to work with people that were in a crisis or at their lowest points. And it just so happens, there is a crisis center, and it just so happened they needed a peer overnights. And they probably got sick of me, asking about it. But it just so happened that everything fell in line, and I was very persistent that that's what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go from the 401, and it just so happened to work out. It's been very natural feeling, and I feel like it gives my own story and my own struggles a sense of greater purpose, to be able to connect with individuals and be able to work with them and make them feel heard, and to even get to a point where they feel they have a voice in their treatment and where they just don't feel alone. There's been times I've been out in the community and someone has spotted me that I may have supported 6, 7 months ago. It's refreshing because there's been times where they're like, thanks to your support, or thanks to my time at the crisis center, like that kind of put me on that right track. And that makes me feel like, even if at the time I'm not sure if I'm really doing anything helpful, that it's very possible that I am at least planting a seed. And to me, that's worth it. I do a lot of writing. I love to journal, I love to write poetry. It's my way of escaping and dealing with intrusive thoughts. For me, the traditional medications, therapy, psychiatry, that's really beneficial for me. I think there's a lot more discussions in the open than there used to be when it comes to mental health and substance use. But I think there's always room for improvement. And I think that the only way to get improvement is to talk about it and to not silence anyone's voice, and to give people the encouragement and the support they need to get help themselves if they need it. It's okay to acknowledge we can't do everything on our own. Despite times where I have wanted to not exist, I am thankful every single day that I'm still here. Recovery is possible, wellness is possible. Not being perfect is okay.